We know there's been massive immigration into this country, hundreds of thousands of people. The government is said to be worried, like a lot of governments in the developed world and elsewhere, about an aging population. But we're hearing now that it's shifting the country's gender ratio towards more men than women. The population of Canada's adult men up around 3.5% last year, faster than the rate of growth for women. What are the impacts here? We're joined by Armine Yalnizyan, an economist and a fellow on the future of workers at the Atkinson Foundation. Armine, it's great to see you. Thanks for coming on the show.
Great to see you again, too.
There's a big debate going on. Some critics of the government saying we're bringing in too many people. What should we remember about immigration policy in Canada? What's important?
Oh, well, first of all, your headline number that there's more men than women, there's still more women than men, but the group that is growing faster amongst the men than women is the prime age, working age people. 25 to 44-year-old men, more of them were added to the system than women. Why? Because we are taking in more newcomers. But you use the term immigrants, Andrew, and that isn't what's happening. 3 out of 4 people that are coming into this country are coming in as international students or migrant workers. So this is a policy issue that can be changed on a dime because these people don't have the right to stay. They're temporary residents. Most of them will never make the transition to permanent residency status.
I didn't know that. I knew a lot of these students, and people said, well, it's just an under-the-wire way of moving into Canada, and they're going to cut back on these students. But you say a lot of these people are coming in just on a temporary basis. They won't stay in this country?
Yeah, that's the way our policies work. We have been addressing the issue of labor shortages since the pandemic era reopening of economies around the world. In Canada, our solution to labor shortages has been open up the taps on temporary foreign workers and international students who are often workers for low-wage jobs. And you're absolutely right that those international students were induced to come here in the idea that it would be a 1-2 step. You'd come here, you'd study here, you get a job here, and that would fast track you to stay here. The pathways to permanence are so convoluted and so numerous that often that's just a lot. It's like you're buying a lottery. You hope that you're going to get in. But most people that come here with temporary residency permits do not stay.
What change would you like to see, Armine?
Oh, I think we're on the track to walking back what we did. I mean, I think we have been designing immigration policy, so-called immigration policy, newcomer policy, to meet the needs of businesses. And then that has caused blowback in housing quite naturally. And it has caused blowback for the government to walk it back. And they're doing that. They're not only investing more in housing, but they're walking back what they did at a time when the economy is slowing. But I think the really interesting issue here is the way it's being framed, that there's more men than women. And frankly, if that's the pathway to the future that many countries that are facing labor shortages, as you mentioned at the top, if we become more reliant on temporary residents to do the jobs that we need doing, we're not just changing the economics of the moment, we're changing the future of society. Because this group, 25 to 40, that's the group that has kids, that form families, that actually develop their lives. And that's what they're not allowed to do if they're not permanent residents here. So that's a real issue for us to wrestle with as a society, not just as how do we deal with market pressures.
I see there's a headline in Maclean's piece by Courtney Shea. It's called The Rise of the One and Done Family. And she's talking about how women are having babies at a later age. She was in her early 40s, and so many couples are just having one kid.
And so many couples are not even getting together as couples to have kids because of the high cost of housing. And now the people that we're pouring in, the population growth that we're seeing, actually we've added 1 million people to the mix in the last year, fastest population growth since the 1950s. Except in the 1950s, people came here after the Second World War to build their lives. And that's what was partly what caused a baby boom. Now people are being asked to come here to do the work, but you're not good enough to stay. more and more of the people in that age category, 25 to 40, are unable to get on with their lives. Cost of housing is too much. It's very difficult to leave your parents' home if you can afford a place. And frankly, the people we're inviting here to do the work aren't allowed to stay. And so, we're actually, by policy and by market pressures, making it harder to have kids.